Big Blue Thumb Productions presents the Podlie Podcast. Here's your hosts, Podlie Bill, Podlie Cliff, and Podlie Paul.
And good evening, everybody. And hey, this is a brand new year. It's the first show of 2022.
Happy New Year!
Hello, Nicole. And Cliff, we can't hear you. We've lost your audio, Cliff, just so you know. Hello there, Nicole. Hello there, Laura. Hello there.
Bill, it looks really funny when Cliff actually moves his mouth, but nothing comes out. Let's keep doing that. That's very neat.
He's back.
I meant to say that was my inside voice.
So Nicole was in first. Laura was in second. Cheryl was in third. And
so Nicole gets what, 2,500?
2,500 for Nicole. What, 1,500 for Laura, and what's that for Cheryl? What were we doing for third now? 500. Right. There you go. 500 points.
That's bloody awesome.
Yes.
Happy New Year!
Polly.
My 8-year-old stayed up till 12 o'clock. Her two older brothers were asleep, and honest to God, 12:04, dead asleep. It was very funny. Yeah, it was very funny. But she stayed up. She stayed
up till the crack of midnight, eh?
And Happy New Year, Jeremy. Jeremy's with us. Bright and early.
About time you showed up, dude.
Did you guys notice? I don't know if you guys were in front of the TV watching the proverbial Dick Clark shows on New Year's Eve. There's no good Canadian New Year's Eve shows. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, no, we didn't. I didn't watch any of Dick Clark's thing either. But
truth be told, and I think maybe we should do this next year. But truth be told, I was going to suggest that we do a Podlie podcast New Year, where we get on here, we get a bunch of people with us having some drinks, blah blah blah, and one of us can be the official countdown, right? We can put the thing on the line, and then we can celebrate New Year's with all our friends, right?
Well, what the hell? Let's do it next year.
That's what I'm saying, right? I mean,
this year. Let's do it this year.
Let's do it this year. Well, we'll do it at the cusp of this year and next year then. But the fact of the matter is, I mean, some people go out partying on New Year's. That used to be my shtick, but I haven't in a number of years. For some odd reason, I've changed my mind, and we don't really do that much anymore. I mean, it might change, but certainly haven't done it in the last couple of years. But
we haven't done that either. Jeremy's comment: next year, the Podlie podcast drop the balls.
Okay.
Just like in New York, where they drop the ball, the Podlie podcast crew will drop the balls.
See, I'm just out of luck when it comes to
dropping
the
balls.
Just don't know these things.
Dropping the balls in my house would be any weekend staying awake later than midnight. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, I think that's always in our house too. We, midnight. Now, Cheryl and I stayed up a little bit longer this year because we were watching something on TV. Wasn't a New Year's thing. It was something that came on after midnight that we were watching for a bit. So we stayed up to midnight. But our daughters, they went off to bed right after midnight, and
we're gonna let it all hang out.
Yeah. So hey, I agree, Cliffy. Let's do the Canadian dropping of the balls.
I think so. Yes. And you know what? The fact of the matter is, if some of us want to go out and party it up or whatever the case may be, well, then so be it. We'll just have to tune in from wherever we are.
I'm okay with that.
Right? I mean, it's an hour, and I think we should make that like an extra. If it doesn't fall on a Monday, right, then it should be an extra podcast. It's that little extra giving of the season.
Well, it should fall on Saturday, shouldn't it? In 2022, I think. I think. I'm not sure. I know Jeremy said, Nicole says, careful what balls you're talking about.
That's what I said, Nicole. When he said, well, I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. I mean,
what? We're talking about the big red balls.
Okay. Listen.
What you all talking about?
I've been called Clifford the Big Red Dog for a long time in my life. All right. So all of these things matter to me.
Yeah. Hey, well, yeah, by the way, Nicole said this. So Cliff, if it falls on that certain day this year, what day was that again?
Saturday. Hey, I love it. Thanks, Nicole. Well, appreciate that. Saturday.
Paul, you're just jealous that you missed that when we did our 100th episode.
So not jealous.
So not jealous.
Not jealous.
I bet you Elton John's going like this.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody in the world saying, "Have you seen these guys on the Podlie podcast?"
I know. I used to love that song though when I was young, man. I tell you, used to listen to that a lot. It's like it was a cool song.
It was a good song.
That's right.
Why not?
Kelly Gross, Mr. Kelly. How are you,
me.
sir?
I'm not sure. He wants somebody to kiss him. Paul, are you available?
I don't have a ladder big enough.
I don't have a ladder. I only do.
Kelly, I'm sorry. I've only got a 4 foot, man. That's about 5 feet too short, man.
You only have a 4 foot what, Paul?
Ladder.
Oh, ladder.
Ladder.
Just checking. Donna, happy New Year to you as well.
Happy New Year, dude.
Everybody's,
Donna.
Happy New Year.
Donna
Monet.
Monet. William
Andrea.
James
Hello, Andrea.
Kirkland, the man with the best title. Andrea Schultz. About time you showed up, dude.
Yeah.
And then there's Laura.
So hey, you were off, guys. You were off the 24th. Have you guys been off since the 24th, Cliffy? Or are you back at work?
I'm back as of today.
As of today, yeah, me too.
But I was off. Yeah.
What'd you get up to?
I'm not back as of today, just so you know.
Tomorrow, eh, Bill?
No.
Next
What the hell, man?
I took another week, so I'm hanging out just till next Monday. Yeah.
It's crazy.
What'd you guys get up to?
About 5 foot.
5 foot. Never mind.
Yeah. 5 footish. 5 footish something. So what did you do there, Cliff?
Well, not a lot. You know what? I'm kind of pissed at myself because I kind of wasted. Well, okay, there's two ways to look at this, right? Because I did a bunch of organizing on my computer, have a drive of some archive stuff that I couldn't get on my stupid Windows 10 machine because it was formatted for a Macintosh computer. So I did a bunch of jack with that and managed to get most of the files off of it. And then I packed up our computer and threw it away and yada, yada, yada. So stuff like that, where it was kind of organizing, but it was nothing that was kind of visible. At the end of it, it doesn't look like you've gotten anywhere. But in reality, I suppose I did make my life a little bit easier with all the organizing. So I did some of that. And then honestly, I've been very tired. So I've been sleeping more than usual. I don't know if anybody else has experienced that or what, but yeah, I've been, I don't know if it's the weather. This weather really gets to me. I tell you what, of all the things that get to me, it's the lack of sun that gets to me the most. It could be freezing. It could be, doesn't matter what it is, but it's the lack of the sun. And I tell you what, I don't know about you guys, but certainly in my little neck of the woods, I think I've seen 2 possible afternoons of sun in 4 weeks, in 3 weeks, because it just hasn't been.
That's what it was like when Cheryl and I, in fact, we were living out in Vancouver, right?
Right.
Well, I didn't mind not having the snow, and I don't mind the rain, but yeah,
right.
In the winter there, you get very little sun. It's gray all the time.
Yeah.
And dude, that's what it was here, right? For the last 3 weeks, I think we had 2 afternoons where it was bright out, like sunny, like sun. But otherwise, and it was, when I say afternoon, what do I mean? In this part of the world, the afternoon's 2 hours, right? So, so if that, so I had that, but I tell you what, I don't know. Maybe it's that makes me tired. I don't know.
Not only was it dreary and gloomy, but it was like blue ball cold too. Like you couldn't
on top of all of that,
you couldn't get anywhere. I've been in the house.
Yeah.
Little bit of Saturday notwithstanding, and today at work.
Yeah.
I've been in the house for what, 9 days now, 11 days now. Like you can't go outside.
And I think that's part of it, right? I think that's part of why, I don't know, you get tired, maybe your body at rest, stays at rest, all that type of jazz. Either that, or let's face it, it's been a tough year for many of us. And maybe that bunking down and sort of, letting go, maybe that's a good thing. But I ate too much and I slept too much, but I don't regret it.
There you go. And the other bad thing, of course, with this cold weather is it keeps the roads icy, right? They don't have time to really clean up properly. And then, of course, they get scraped and then they're even more icier.
Yeah, that's right. I just got to say what Leslie Ann said here, because I agree. Leslie Ann has had some time with Rowan and his parents on New Year's Day, which we went and saw the Leduc lights. So, and you guys know who Rowan is, right?
Excellent. Yeah, but maybe to remind us, Cliff, just in
He's my
case.
godson, man. He's my godson, right? I mean,
Right.
I feel like Howard Wolowitz.
Thanks for the
On
reminder.
I feel like Howard Wolowitz on The Big Bang. It's my girlfriend, and this is my girlfriend Bernadette.
Yeah.
Right? This is my Rowan. This is my godson Rowan. Yeah, see, Jeremy says Cliff got to maul his godson, who I'm told is the cutest kid ever. I know Jeremy, right? I mean, yeah, I mean, everybody says that, so it must be true.
But hold on, Jeremy. Are you saying that Cliff is the cutest kid ever, or your kid?
I would hazard to say a little bit of both.
There was some ambiguity there, Bill?
Yeah, he doesn't really say like who he's talking about.
That's another Monty Python thing, right? He says clarity, and clarity is everywhere, but where is the ambiguity?
Yeah. Cheryl mentioning we did so much before Christmas and now feeling a bit lazy that we stayed in and relaxed. Did take the snow off one of our outbuildings today. Cheryl did out, but our snow out here is literally thigh high deep right now. So I did shovel some down on the land, and I'm still standing. I know I'm still standing on at least a foot or two of snow. I'm all of a sudden a lot taller when I stand outside than I have been before.
Yeah. Man, I tell you, it's been I've done a lot of shoveling, and I tell you what, speaking as a guy with a pretty severe rotator cuff injury, let me tell you something.
I'm still dealing with my shoulder issue.
Yeah, that shoveling is not fun, man. It's not fun. And earlier on, when it snowed really badly, the one I can't remember before Christmas, I went out there, I did like 2 hours, whatever, and did whatever, and I felt okay till the next morning. And then I couldn't do it. And then I couldn't do anything, right? Because I mean, it's an actual quite a severe case, right? He says it was a 1 centimeter separation in whatever it is. So it's pretty serious. So yeah, that did a number on my shoulder, man. Holy shite!
Well,
and I think maybe that. Sorry, Bill. I was going to say maybe that adds to the needing sleep, right? I don't know.
That could be for sure. Yeah, I know that. Like I had the rotator cuff with my left shoulder issue, and that one is good now. And then I've got it's some sort of impingement. It's called in my right shoulder. So I actually have my own TENS machine at home now. So every night I'm shocking myself for
what machine?
A TENS machine. So it's a machine that goes on to your arms, and it goes on with pads, and you use a little box, and it's firing electrical current into the muscle. And it's moving it and like almost a electrical massage. And really pushing the muscle around. So
does it help? Does it help in the immediate and the long term, or only in the immediate?
It's starting to help over time now. I'm starting to get a little bit more motion back, and I do work out my arm at home as well as much as I can with certain exercises and stuff to try and get more motion back into it. And it does help with a little bit of the pain as well.
How much motion do you have, Bill?
I can only lift. It's better now, so I can only lift my arm up that high. So that's higher than I could before. I was only down about here. Before I couldn't lift it any higher.
They actually call it a locked shoulder, right? When that happens, right?
Or frozen shoulder.
Frozen shoulder. Yeah, and my doctor, the doctor that I've seen for this, he's like me, right? He's not a drug pusher, and like you guys probably know, I think I've taken 2 Advil in the last year, and no Tylenol, no nothing. I'm just not a person that takes drugs.
I try not to take a lot of painkillers either, unless
I'm simply not that type of a person and never have been. So he told me, he says you think you might need a cortisone shot, just so I don't know. And then when I got there, he had ordered it. When I got there, he talked to me and he asked me questions, and he says, "No, Cliff, I don't think maybe you need it." So he's like me; he doesn't push the drugs, right? But then all of a sudden, he asked me to move my shoulder, and he goes, and he freaks out on me. He goes, "That's it?" He goes, "You definitely need the cortisone shot, right?" So I mean, I respect that. I respect that when doctors are like that. But man, it didn't do any good, Bill. I don't know if you got it or what, but it didn't.
I never got a cortisone shot on mine. No, it was a ton of physiotherapy that I did in my left one for lots of physiotherapy and heat and stuff, and it's been 100%. And then, like I said, then my right one went. So now I'm I'm just watching the coal here. Yeah, you have to be careful with the TENS machine, because if you crank it up a little too high, boy, your arm is just a flying, and it's tough. Like it can hurt.
It
So,
can hurt, yeah. I missed a lot of comments. I haven't been able to read. I can't even see that far right now.
yeah, I didn't. I just kind of watching them out of my corner of my eye. But
yeah.
so anyway, so tonight I thought, because it's the New Year's, and we were going to kind of talk about this last week, and we never got to it. So I wanted to bring this up as the age-old topic of New Year's resolutions. Are you a believer in them? If you are, do you keep them, or do you only do it for like a month and then you're off it? Or you're one of those people who actually do keep your New Year's resolution, and each year you change it to something different. Is a challenge for you or whatever. So I just wanted to see what your guys' opinion was on that. Paul?
Podlie?
100%. New Year's Eve is New Year's is actually very important to me. It's a do-over. It's a chance to do over. I really like New Year's Eve and its resolutions and stuff like that. It's a chance to wipe the slate clean and reflect on what maybe you missed the last year, and then concentrate
what could be remedied.
And what could be remedied for the next year. Ergo, and I'll give you an example. My guitar, I didn't play near as much in 2021 as I should have. So this being the third, I've already practiced on the first. I already practiced yesterday. I haven't practiced yet today, but I'm going to practice after the show. Like,
nice.
I think it's important. I think it's really important. And, resolutions, I think you do them great. You don't do them great. I do them. I do resolutions. I have, in fact, I think there was 2 years where I actually followed them throughout. And that was exercising, but throughout the 365. I didn't make them a habit after that, I don't think, for whatever reason, having kids or this, that, and the other thing. But yeah, I actually a couple of times did it throughout the whole year. So, but anything else, yeah, they've fallen flat. But I still think they're important,
Yeah. I just was laughing at Jeremy's comment. Currently, my favorite resolution is 4K. I actually like 8K, Jeremy. But
always see, Jeremy, it's always the one-upmanship, right? 4K. I mean, I'm a 1080p guy, and you got to be a 4K, and then there's Bill, right? Bill has to be the 8K. Unbelievable.
gotta be the 8K guy.
Yeah, I'm still at the 1080p range, but it's changing. It's changing very quickly. So, Leslie Ann says something about New Year's. Can you read that, Podlie? I cannot see it for some reason. My eyes are just messed.
No problem. Well, let me get there. Hang on, guys.
So, something says about New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
And then Marvin says he does not do resolutions.
Where do you want me to start from?
Oh, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I'm just reading everybody's saying about
Marvin and Marvin. I don't do resolutions, but I do goals. And then there's one from Leslie Ann underneath that.
Okay, hang on. I'm coming.
Hang on. In the meantime, hi Lori, hi Deborah Hugh. How's it going?
Marvin, I don't do resolutions, but I do goals. Just seems like less pressure. Leslie Ann, I do New Year's mantras. Haven't figured out this year's just yet, but my favorite mantra that I kept for a few years was, quote, a little farther, a little faster, a little longer. Wow, sounds like an Olympics thing. Cool. I did triathlons those years. Ergo, the Olympics. Yes. Jeremy, so resource intensive though. 8K.
And Kelly above there says he doesn't believe in resolutions. I can't read that. I give myself something. A goal.
I need to be somewhere and want Kelly. I need to be somewhere and want to meet and or exceed my goal.
Yeah.
Andrea, I don't set New Year's resolutions. I try to be better than the day before. Oh, I like that idea.
Cool.
I don't set New Year's resolutions. I try to be better than the day before. I have goals in my life, especially with my fitness and overall health, but I am always working on it. Glenda, yes, 2 goals! Exclamation mark.
And I agree with Marvin, and I don't do New Year's resolutions. I would classify them more as goals, whether they are to make myself better or to, do something, better than I did last year or whatever the case might be. But I don't set down like a New Year's resolution of any type. And by the way, to your comment there, Jeremy, about 8K, it is at this point, but it won't be much longer. So don't worry about that. Cheryl, I like making goals in different areas instead of yeah, I agree with Cheryl as well. I'm not a New Year's resolution guy. I prefer in setting goals for yourself to see if you can.
Hey, you know what I'm doing? So I was on a website. Let me see if I can find it. I was on it's the top like 1,000 albums of all time. Obviously it's subjective, but
right.
It's like the 1,000 or 10, actually even 10,000. It's the 10,000 best albums of all time. It's not from Rolling Stone, it's not from Spin or whatever, right? But it is a website that says the 10,000 best albums of all time. Here's my question. And this is going to be one of my goals, I guess, in 2022. Who's ever heard a full Spencer Davis Group album from start to finish? I've never.
Probably.
So I'm going to do Spencer Davis Group.
Yeah, long time ago for me.
Who's ever heard of a full Procol Harum album from start to finish? I
love the album.
By the way, the album that I'm going to from Procol Harum is the Edmonton album.
Yes.
And I haven't listened to it. So here's my point. My point is I've never heard a Dylan album from start to finish.
No.
Never heard.
Podlie, I think perhaps the difference, maybe. See, music, I was always, like, even in my whole group, we were always active, quote unquote. We used to call ourselves active listeners. And by that I mean is, and this is aging me here, but there's nothing quite like getting a brand new album and sitting on the couch, putting it on the stereo. And of course, we spent a lot of money on audio equipment, believe me, and sitting either by yourself or with friends, and you listen to it back to front. And you read all the wonderful liner notes and all that type of jazz. That was actually the way we listened to music. So in terms of listening to whole albums, I think I would be answering yes to more than not when it comes to whole albums, right? Because that's the way I grew up listening.
So, yeah, that was me as well, right? We listened, when you put an album on, you listen to the whole thing, side A and B.
Correct, yeah.
And me too. But I guess my point is that I've never heard the greats. I've never heard a full Ella album cover.
Right.
You know what I mean? I've never heard. Hey, get this. I've never heard Pet Sounds from front to back. Never.
Right.
Never. One of the best albums of all time.
Best albums, pretty much. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I've never heard it from front to back.
See, I've done a lot of that, right? I mean, Ella Fitzgerald and Etta James and Billie Holiday and all of these people and oh man, Coltrane, John Coltrane, and all of these albums, and Miles Davis and Joe Cocker and Wynton Marsalis and all these people. And
I've never heard the Revolver album.
Oh man, good album. Good album.
I've never heard the Revolver album from front to back. Of course, I know Beatles tracks. Of course, I know Beatles, but I've never heard the B-sides. Do you know what I mean? From front to back. So here's my goal, and I like how you guys put this instead of a resolution as a goal. I'm not going to do it every day because I just don't have that time. But what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and get through. And I legitimately downstairs, I've got a list of probably already 80, 90 bands that I've never heard and people that I've never heard albums front to back. So that's my goal this year, 2022, among many things. Do you know what I mean? Like I can't wait to hear the White Album. I've never heard the White Album front to back.
It's a great album. That's okay. I am not the biggest Beatles fan. Okay, I'll put that out there right now. You guys can swear at me if you want, but I'm not the biggest Beatles fan. But the White Album is a must. It's an absolute must, right?
So
Jeremy says he just heard Pet Sounds just last week. Yeah, Jeremy. See, I've never heard it. No, I mean, and I know the Beach Boys, Jeremy, but I don't know Pet Sounds, and that's my point. My point is I want to hear these albums front to back. Absolutely, side A, side B. I want to hear the B sides. Do you know what I mean? So I'm really jacked about that, I think. I'm really excited about that. I've got already a list of about 75 from this website that I found and of the, arguably best albums of all time. So I'm really excited about that, actually. I'm gonna put my my Google Home to work this year, boys and girls.
And I think what you should do, Paul, is actually try to listen to all 10,000 albums.
Yep.
In a row.
That's right.
Well, you know what I'm actually looking for? I'm actually looking. No, I think I'm probably on 9100 right now. I went through quite a lot last night, actually. Just going through 9100, right? And there's a whole bunch of metal albums that I don't want to hear. Because I'm not a metal guy, right? And I'm not a
but certain metal albums, dude. Come on, System of the Down.
Oh, sir.
Right.
Okay. Social Distortion and
a really good group which nobody really listens to, but if you get a chance, From Autumn to Ashes. They're a metal group, but they're fantastic. And there's a lead singer that sang with them on a song where there was a question and an answer. So the metal is the answer, and the ballad is the question. And her name is Melanie Willis. And oh my God, she sings with a band called One True Thing, and she sings one song with these people. I think it's called Reflection. I can't remember off the top of my head, but anyway, with From Autumn to Ashes, and her voice is haunting, like absolutely haunting. I love that woman's voice, and she does this question and answer thing with this metal group called From Autumn to Ashes. It's fantastic. If you get a chance, if the inspiration strikes.
Yeah, for sure. Andrea.
To Andrea's point, Andrea, Bill and I know Chloe very well. We know Anne Breen very well. We know Martin Kerr very well.
I've known Anne
Josh
for years.
Sahunta, I've never met Josh Sahunta yet, but yeah. And you're right. Like we work with these people, right? So a lot of the time. But I mean, you're good friends with Anne. I'm good friends with Chloe, although I haven't talked to her in a while. Chloe just dropped a new album, actually.
She did. She got a new album. Yeah, I know. I've known Chloe, and I've been friends with Anne, and I've worked with both Anne and Martin for many years, selling CDs for them. And
I was in a Chloe Albert. I was in a Chloe Albert video. So yeah.
Which you got cut.
You're right. The local stuff is awesome. She cut me, damn it. By the way, it wasn't her. It was the director, but yeah.
So it looks like everybody seems like majority of the people on here are saying goals over resolutions.
So just to finish my point, is there a band that you know of that you've never heard, you've never heard an album? Like, have you ever heard have you ever heard a full Police album? Front to back.
I have every single one.
Everybody, single one. I knew you were going to say Synchronicity. Yeah. But do you understand what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
I know. Absolutely.
That's really what I'm going to concentrate on this year,
Yeah.
And like I said, Paul, I can answer yes to so many of these simply because that was kind of the shtick, right? That's what we did. That's what we did. We put the album on, we got some alcohol or whatever the case may be, and we sat and we listened to it and we read the liner notes and we talked about it and we oohed and awed at certain parts in the song, etc., right? So,
but have you listened to a Depeche Mode album?
Who?
To
Who? Do they have albums?
They have the best albums.
Oh man.
Jeremy, what about Depeche Mode? I bet nobody's ever listened to an entire album.
Not funny. Not funny.
Yeah. Have you ever listened to In the Garden of Eden?
I don't have that much time.
What do you mean, dude? Iron Butterfly. That's a whole album. You should listen to it. The whole album's one song.
Hey,
one side's one song.
Do you know what I did? I saw the movie Bohemian Rhapsody for the first time.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
I have.
Is it good?
Not bad. Yeah. Not bad.
Yeah, I thought it was quite good, actually.
Yeah, not bad. So yeah, I saw that for the first time when I was on holidays.
Maybe I did. I can't remember. Never mind.
Oh. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cheryl says they get you every time, Paul. Every single time.
Every single time.
Yeah.
Cheryl, I don't feel gotten.
Now, are you talking about, Cheryl, are you talking about a Depeche Mode single? Because I've heard the odd song.
What single would you like?
But never a whole album.
You have to listen to the Violator album. It is my favorite album probably of all time, but I say that very arguably. Violator, Depeche Mode. Unbelievable.
Just might have to listen to it.
Yeah, actually, it really is. It really is an incredible album. It really is. So,
yeah. Well, most of the time I was a B-side guy anyway, so a lot of the popular stuff I never got to most of the popular stuff. But anyway, yeah,
100%.
Yeah, it's
what do you guys but enough about me. What are you guys working on this year? What's your goals this year?
well, Cliff. First of all, you got to look at the time.
Oh my goodness me! Well, one of my goals would be to be on time.
quick, get his contract out, quick.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the middle of the. Well, I was going to say film again, but it's the bloody podcast. The middle of the podcast. Yeah.
Laura's asking Paul, did you like Adam Lambert's cameo in the Queen movie?
I don't even know what he looks like.
You know,
is that right? Yeah.
Adam Lambert, who now sings for
What a
Queen.
voice.
But I don't know what he looks like.
Holy shit.
What I was really surprised is when I saw the movie and the movie ended, I knew Mike Myers was in the movie as per the opening credits, but I didn't know where the hell he was. I had to go back and find where Mike Myers was.
It was a clip. Yeah, it was just a clip from that movie, right?
That was crazy. Well, no, he was on it a couple of times. He was on it for arguably about 6-7 minutes, right? But I would never in a million years have recognized him. So
well, you wouldn't have recognized Adam Lambert in the movie either. He was made up to look like a trucker,
and I don't know what he looks like anyway. So
so obviously you haven't listened to Queen with Adam Lambert then.
No,
he's amazing.
Yeah.
Can you imagine walking into and saying, "Yep, I think I could do a Freddie Mercury." Can you imagine it? But
there's a documentary on him, right?
Yeah. Brian May says they kind of found him, right?
They did. So there's a
documentary on who? On
there's a whole documentary on Queen on Netflix and Finding Adam Lambert. So it talks about
finding it.
Like they found him.
See that.
Yeah, you got to watch. He was on not America's Got Talent, the other one.
The one.
What's that other singer?
Idol, American Idol.
He was on American Idol, and the guys, one of the Queen. I think the Queen keyboard player saw him or whatever and sent a message to Brian and said, "You got to watch this.
You got to watch this kid."
And then it ended up Queen was invited to perform at the finale of American Idol that year, which was Adam Lambert and this other guy, and so they performed with him. And Adam Lambert didn't win. He didn't win American Idol, but he performed with Queen, and Queen loved him so much that they said, "We got to bring this guy in."
Yeah.
And so they did, and off it went.
I vaguely remember the story.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, I haven't seen the documentary. I just picked up little things like that.
Well, they've toured here before, right? Queen with Adam Lambert has been here. They've
toured here. They have, and they will be
at
back.
least once. I think maybe twice.
Oh yeah, he's got the one of the best voices I've heard in rock and roll. Such a range. Now he's not. Nobody can replace Freddie Mercury, but he's close to it.
But come on, man! If you're gonna make a band your own. If you're going to make it your own, Adam Lambert did a fantastic job, right? And the other vocalist that stepped into a band, which was amazing, and I love the band, I love the original singer, and I love him, is Styx, right? I mean, Lawrence Gowan.
Gowan is unbelievable.
And he did and he stepped into the lead vocalist. I mean, Dennis DeYoung was an amazing vocalist. Come on.
Yeah.
But then here we go. Good old Larry Gowan steps in. Yeah. And I mean, it's like a perfect fit. It's like a perfect fit, right? Yeah.
Yeah. You know what, Cliff? I miss Gowan. I miss Gowan. The band. I miss Gowan. Boy, I miss 80s Gowan. But to have Lawrence,
speaking of albums,
Larry Gowan, wow, I'm excited to have him in Styx.
Speaking of albums, dude. Speaking of albums, listen to Soul's Road.
Strange Animal.
Yeah, that one too. That was fantastic. But then his other album called Soul's Road.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's called Soul. I think the album title is called Soul's Road. I can look it up, but
is that a Gowan album or is that a Lawrence
Gowan?
That's a Gowan album?
Yeah, what a fantastic album. And oh man, the lyrics and the music and the vocals, I could go on and on forever. It's fantastic.
I found something last night, guys, and I've been on a big Beatles kick ever since Get Back on Disney Plus, and I just watched George Harrison's last interview. And so, anyways, I found something last night, and you can find this on YouTube. The man's name is Rick Beato, Beato.
Yeah,
and he's got a whole
he's
bunch of
fantastic.
Well, I've never heard of the guy, but
Oh.
so what he does is he does YouTube snippets on why this song is so great.
Yeah.
Ergo, why was Bach? Why is Bach so great?
Yeah.
And then he goes on, why is Bohemian Rhapsody so great? And
hey, Podlie, tell you what, dude, look up his YouTube channel and look up 20 best guitar intros, 20 best acoustic guitar intros. No, I'm saying look at for you because, hey, you're learning guitar, right? You like this stuff.
I love this stuff. And what I love too, Cliffy, is I love the history. Exactly. I love the history. I Get Back to me, watching the it was longer, watching the 9 hours almost of Get Back.
Yeah, you mentioned it.
It was like playing in a sandbox for me. It was unbelievable. I just loved it, Yeah. So I really enjoy this.
While I think of this, I got to tell you, if you're a Fleetwood Mac fan, there is an hour documentary out on Fleetwood Mac, which is the best thing I've ever seen. It's a documentary on Rumors, on the Rumors album.
One of the best albums of all time.
One of the pinnacle albums in all of music, in all of history, in all of music. And that includes all of the freaking composers. I'm telling you, this is the best album.
No arguments.
But that documentary, Podlie, if you like, the history and blah, 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 that Rumors documentary is fan-freaking-tastic. And you can find it on YouTube. You can find it.
Buddy, thank you for that.
The whole document's there, yeah. And the other one, which is really good, The Making of Graceland. Of course, Paul Simon being my favorite artist of all time. Yeah. The Making of Graceland in 1986, very, very interesting. Yeah. Because of the political, the South Africa, what was going on at the time. Miriam Makeba was exiled from South Africa for 27 years, and he arranged it so that she can come back and play and yada, yada, yada. It's an awesome history. Yeah. Really good.
I love it. I'm on it. And by the way, just on this topic, if anybody can suggest to me music docs that I should dive into, and B, where the heck I can get them. So what I mean by that is I don't have Crave. I don't have Netflix. I don't have. So that's something that I'm really onto right now. Like I've watched.
Okay, so Fleetwood Mac is on YouTube. You can find it. And when you type your search key, type in Fleetwood Mac Rumors documentary, whole documentary, complete documentary, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And you'll find it. It's on there.
Okay. I'm really into this now, you guys. Like cool. I just saw the whole Get Back. I've watched the whole Woodstock doc.
Woodstock doc.
I love it. It's great stuff. Love it. 2022 is going to be so good, man.
Marvin,
sorry, go ahead, Bill. I was just going to
say, yeah, Marvin says, I love a good drum solo in music, but my favorite drum solo is from the opening scene from Something Wonderful.
Oh, I don't know that one.
I'm not sure that one either.
I'm not sure that one. What is that? Something Wonderful? Is that a movie or what is that, Marvin?
Yeah.
And can somebody read Nicole's there? It's obviously an interesting comment.
Nicole, funny story, and didn't recognize him until he walked away. Lawrence Gowan walked up to me when I worked at Superstore and asked me where the produce department was. And I showed him and walked away, and I was halfway back to the front of the store, and then light bulb. What a lovely human.
He is a lovely human. I met him very, very briefly in Edmonton. And it was, I can't remember. I think I was hanging out with Gizmo Williams from the Edmonton Eskimos. And I think I managed to have a chat with him very briefly. Crazy guy, amazing voice.
Oh, amazing voice.
I don't know, man. He's such a Canadian talent. I don't know why he's not a superstar.
Oh, I agree.
He should be.
Couldn't agree with you more. Yep, 100%. Funny story just along the Canadian content. I'm at my usual neighborhood Sobeys, and am I with my kids? No, I'm not with my kids. I'm by myself, and I'm walking, choo, and this man is approaching me, and it's dead to rights. You know this guy because of his hair. Alfie Zappacosta just walks right by me, right? And Alfie's local, like every like, but. I remember back in the 80s, man, like he was really popular. Really, really popular. And good music, man. And he's still got great music. So I stopped him. He was in a rush, but he was kind. And stuff like that. So Alfie's Epicos, can't miss him with his hair. Can't miss him.
I had Alfie do a show for me at the Windspear a few years back.
You told me that, yeah, and I told you the story a couple of years ago, Bill. Yeah, very nice. I would love to have spoken with him more, but yeah.
Nicole says when he performed at the Thunderdome, and Leslie Ann agrees. Me too. Haha, Thunderdome. I love that concert. That was awesome. What a great memory.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of albums, dude, that right there, Thunderdome. If you listen to Tina Turner's album called Private Dancer, oh my freaking Lord,
that's incredible.
That's an amazing album. That whole album, back to front, Paulie, put that on your list. Private Dancer,
done,
back to front. Oh man, what an album that is.
Done.
Stunning
I've
album.
probably heard it, but it wouldn't have been in the last 30 years, you know.
Stunning album.
Yeah.
It's too much, man. Don't you get me talking about music and I'll just fly right off.
Well, look at us, right? Look
I know,
at
right?
Like I'm absolutely hooked on it. Like I watched Paul McCartney's got Disney Plus. Paul McCartney's got 6 half-hour snippets talking with Rick Rubin, and everybody knows Rick Rubin is super producer, right? He's produced Anthrax, and he's produced I don't know, I can't. He's produced Chili Peppers, lots of Chili Peppers albums.
I think producing Anthrax is probably illegal now, so just saying.
This is true. This is true.
Look, Leslie Ann says she saw Jeff Healey at the Thunderdome. No kidding,
Leslie Ann. That's cool. That's cool.
Fantastic.
And so I've been these 6 snippets with McCartney and Rick Rubin is just incredible. And McCartney is a freaking genius. He's a genius. You know what? You would have asked me this 2 weeks ago. I would have said, wouldn't have had a clue. The man is a freaking genius. That's all I have to say about that. He's amazing.
What about one we haven't mentioned? That is Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd. So I'm going on Pink. I'm going to go on Pink Floyd from front to back. I've heard it from front to back because we would do laser light shows, right? So I've heard Dark Side of the Moon on the laser light show, but
I've heard it.
I'll do it again.
I've heard it, sober. I've heard it at night. I've heard it at daytime. I've heard it under substances. I've heard it not under substances.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, freaking tastic, man. And I tell you what, not just Dark Side of the Moon. If you can take both CDs of The Wall and you listen to that back to front, let me tell you something. It'll blow your mind, Paulie. If you haven't. If you haven't, right? So,
big time. William James Kirkland says Trooper, Hot Shots is a great album.
Hot Shots. That's a good album. Yeah. I've seen Trooper like 4 or 5 times now.
Thank you, sir. Yep. So I'm gonna go through a whole bunch of those.
Billy Joel.
Another good one.
Scenes
Billy
from
Joel
Vienna.
And Ray Charles and
Vienna.
All of those stuff.
Oh man, we used to sit down, turn the thing on, have a little bit of this. You go a bottle of red,
who's heard a whole Uriah Heep album? I've never heard a whole Uriah Heep.
I love you.
Uriah Heep.
Love Uriah Heep, man.
I've never heard
another
a whole Uriah Heep
great
album.
band.
I started listening to them only because of the name. I'm like, what the hell does that mean?
Right. Right. And everybody's heard of them. But when you hear the name Uriah Heep, you're like, huh.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I wish my cousin was on here. My cousin Daryl, him and I were a duet when we were younger, and like big music guys, obviously. And if he was on here, he'd be slamming names up here like crazy because we're like nuts, absolutely like musically freaking like insane. like you guys, I'm sure, right? Like you guys, I'm sure.
Nicole talks about the River Cree is what the Thunderdome used to be, and that's true. The River Cree does a whole bunch of shows now.
I've never been.
Which I think is incorrect. Which I think is incorrect. Thunderdome was on 99th Street, and
Thunderdome became the Union.
Yeah, it became the Union,
right? Which is not the River Cree. Yeah.
No, but no. I think what she's saying is the River Cree is like what the Thunderdome used to be.
Oh,
is the new
like
yeah.
I get it. All right.
But Thunderdome, Thunderdome became
in
the
atmosphere. You're in ambiance. Okay, I get it.
Yeah. Thunderdome became the Union. And I think that's when I think I was at the Union a few times, but then kind of after that,
I was at the Thunderdome one time.
Oh,
because you got to remember, I worked clubs at that time, right? So I could never go out because I was always working, right?
Always working,
Always working. William Kraftwerk, brilliant. I'm going to write that down. That's one I've always wanted to listen to. Don't know.
Who's that?
Kraftwerk. They're a help me with this, William. They're a prog rock band.
Kind of a prog rock electronic band.
Band. They're something along the lines. I want to say Joy Division and a little bit more electronic than the Cure. And I love the Cure. They're one of my favorite bands.
Leslie says good night. She's got to take the dog.
Good night, Leslie.
Good night.
Bye, Leslie.
Good night. What about have you guys heard any London Grammar? London Grammar, 3-piece band are the UK. They have only 2 albums. They only have 2 albums, but the first album, it was fantastic. And her voice, basically it's her voice that is the band, and the 2 musicians basically just kind of help accompany her a little bit because her voice is so amazing. But London Grammar is if you get a chance. And I got to tell you this, I have to tell you about this woman. If you don't know who Heather Nova is, try and find her. Okay, Heather Nova is amazing. Her actual name was Heather Fritz, but she's got God knows how many albums. But years and years and years ago, she had an album called Siren, or Sirens, and it's a green cover album, top to bottom, front to back. If you're a man, if you're a woman, it doesn't matter. The album just speaks to everybody. It's fantastic, back to front, right back to front, right. And she just released an album 3-4 weeks ago now of covers. so yeah. What about Tori Amos?
I've got
I wanted to marry her. Unfortunately, I am the wrong gender, but I wanted to marry her. She's amazing. She's amazing. It's still one of my life's goals to see her in concert.
Her at the piano is something to see.
Love Tori Amos. Little Earthquakes, best album.
And this fairy tale, whatever it's called, it was two CDs. One was
that's later. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. Tori Amos is brilliant. I love her to death. She's amazing.
I got to throw in the Clash with London Calling.
Oh, the Clash.
And you know what? And it's on my list, Bill. I've never heard a Clash album front to back. I've never heard a Sex Pistols album front to back. I've never heard a Ramones album front to back.
Ramones, awesome.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So that's kind of because I was on the tail end, you guys, of listening to
whole things. Yeah.
To whole things. I was on the tail end of that, right? So I've heard full albums, but then all of these single cassettes came out and then CDs came out. Do you know what I mean? So
hey, very quickly before I move on, Tori Amos, have you ever heard her cover of Bruce Springsteen's "Hey Little Girl, Is Your Daddy Home"?
No.
If you listen,
I'm on fire.
You listen to that cover, Podlie. Write this down. Go to YouTube and find it by Tori Amos, dude. Okay.
Wait. Do it down. Wait.
Just write it on your forehead.
If you're a Tori Amos fan, you'll love it. And that one and Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Oh yeah.
Tori Amos's cover of that is fantastic. Yeah. And what about the Nirvana album?
Oh, and the Nirvana album was great as well.
What? Nevermind?
Nevermind.
You know, funny story about I never liked Nirvana at the beginning. I never liked them. I was a Pearl Jam guy. I was a Pearl, but there's now 46 years old. Love, can't get enough of Nirvana in any and every form. Love them. They and here's the thing, and it's kind of funny because I was again last night listening to an hour-long interview with this Rick Beato guy and Sting. And Sting says, well, you know, the question one is what's going to happen next in music? What's this big what big earthquake is going to happen in music next? And here's the thing. The thing is 30 years ago, the big earthquake was Nirvana. Nirvana changed the whole facade of music. They changed the whole thing, quite frankly. And Sting seems to think that every 30 years or so, and ergo, Nirvana, the Nevermind album, I think just celebrated 25 years, is coming up, quite frankly. So we're in line for another big musical revolution. This, according to Sting. You know, love Nirvana. They're incredible.
Sting. Speaking about Sting, there's a guy, an amazing Englishman in New York. That album, I can't remember the name of the album, but the album with Englishman in New York. I mean,
his solo work is amazing.
His solo work is amazing with Fragile. And if you ever listen to it in Spanish, he sings it in Spanish as well, how fragile we are. But anyway, as Peter Gabriel and Sting came to the concert here in Edmonton. Oh my God.
Fantastic. Did you see that? I wanted to go.
Oh yeah, I was there, dude. It was fantastic.
I'm so jealous, dude. I wanted to go to that show.
And the best part of it is, and God, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I could be dreaming this, I swear, but I was in such an absolute haze watching that concert because I love Peter Gabriel. He's one of my favorite musicians of all time. But I could have swore at one time he was singing and Sting's song and Sting was singing backup for him. It's like, come on, how much more genius and egoless can you be in music? You have these two legends, absolute legends on stage. And you know what? No ego, no bullshit, no crap, no nothing. To just get up there and shine like the freaking sun, man. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Bill, you were there, right? You went to that concert.
No, I did not see that.
I thought you went to that.
I would have loved to have gone. Like I've seen the Police numerous times, but I've yet to see Sting play a solo show, and I'd love to see him do a solo show.
Him and Gabriel, that concert was awesome. And I've seen Paul Simon in concert. He's got lots, obviously. And James Taylor. James Taylor came with the greatest band in the world. If you want to listen to mellow music, Podlie, guitar, acoustic music that'll just absolutely rock your freaking acoustic mind. All right. James Taylor, something. And you know what? Don't even listen to an album. Get the greatest hits album. It's a white album, and it starts out with the most beautiful sounding acoustic guitar on there. Something in the way she moves, and it just gets the whole album. This greatest hits album. If you can, I can even get it for you. I have it.
You'll be proud of me. James Taylor is on my list.
Oh, awesome! James Taylor's amazing. He's amazing.
Yeah. Lonesome Larry. Lonesome Lenny. Lenny. It says, can't get into rap. Looking forward to a new musical revolution. Looks like you're watching this on YouTube.
Now, Lonesome Lenny, I agree with you. I can't get into rap either, Eminem notwithstanding. However, you can't deny the fact that rap revolutionized music. It totally did.
Well, okay.
Well, not revolutionized. Okay,
technically,
it changed music.
Technically, it's not the rap that did it. Technically, it's hip hop that did it. Would you? No. Would you agree with that?
No, you're right. I agree with you. No,
I think so.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I remember sitting and watching Quincy Jones
because.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I remember sitting and watching Quincy Jones at his board remixing some hip hop stuff, and you watch him, and you're sitting there. And I don't care who you are, you cannot help move when you hear that. You can't. It's not possible.
Quincy Jones is a genius.
Right?
The guy's a freaking genius.
And when he was mixing on this board, even my ears, and I'm not a person that adapts very well to music. Let me tell you something. I love acoustic stuff. I used to play acoustic guitar a lot back then. So I was really focused on acoustic music. And then this guy is showing me this beat stuff. And you think, I shouldn't like it, but I freaking love it. You couldn't not like it, right? And I think hip hop is what, and I'm sure rap obviously comes from that genre, but I think hip hop changed the world in so many ways.
I would agree with you. And rap and actually, Bill, if you remember one of our chats with one of our past guests on another show, we actually dove into that a little bit, and it's very true, Cliff, what you say. R&B first. And rap is a subgenre of R&B. It's a subgenre, and it is. And you are absolutely right. Yeah. And we had a very good conversation about that. So you're right. Rap, I'm having troubles with, but I love old school R&B, man.
Yeah.
Just oh, it
And,
is.
and
It
really,
is-
right? If you look at the old
oh,
school R&B, it gave way to what would be considered hip hop, and then gave
100%.
way to what would be considered rap. But I mean, it's all the same. And even if you
100%.
listen to the, I don't know how you quantify this, but even if you listen to the worst rap on the market, you will find overtones of gospel music in there.
100%.
That's because that's the root of it. That's the very root of it right there, right? And I think that's what makes that sound so unbelievably addicting to the ear. It's because I don't think this world has ever been without that sound. I think it took time to come to the white world, quote unquote, because obviously it was black music, if that's a term. But I tell you what, I don't think the world has ever been without that sound, and I think that's the difference, right?
And Kelly gives a very good example. Now, albeit I'm not really versed on Grandmaster Flash, I've heard a couple of tracks, and it is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful music for that genre. And again, I'm not really sold on that genre yet, but Grandmaster Flash is the epitome. He's the the echelon that you have to climb, quite frankly. So,
And I mean, Jay-Z, come on.
Jay-Z.
I mean, come on, Jay-Z. Come on, Jay-Z. Somebody root for Jay-Z.
Can't do it, dude.
Oh, I love Jay-Z, man.
Can't do it.
What about you guys? Speaking of rap, only because I thought of a little rap in the middle of the song, Rush. What about Rush?
What
Full
about Rush?
albums?
Yeah.
Albums?
I've heard all of Rush's albums.
Pretty
No,
much.
Top to bottom.
Top
Never
to
heard
bottom,
a full
right,
Rush
Bill?
album.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Never heard a full
Seen
Rush
them in
album.
concert 3-4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
No.
And if you oh man, Rush's album Chronicles, CD 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what an album! And then, of course, the best live album they ever put out. Bill, you probably agree. Show of Hands.
Oh, yeah.
Best live album ever. Fantastic.
time.
I've never heard better music than that in my life when it comes to live albums. And Rush, you got everything. You have the philosophy. You have the best drummer in the world. You have the philosopher lyrics. You have these people who are just remarkable.
I'm going to open up that can. Led Zeppelin or Rush?
Okay, what about it? Led Zeppelin or Rush?
Yeah.
I don't think they're comparable. They're vastly different groups.
Yeah, I don't think they're comparable either.
They're brilliant in their own right.
Brilliant bands.
Okay. Then let's talk.
different
Okay, then let's talk just drummers. Led Zeppelin notwithstanding. Let's talk Neil Peart and let's talk John Bonham.
Neil Peart. Neil Peart. Booyah.
I have to agree with you guys. I have to agree with you guys.
But John Bonham is amazing, man. He's
incredible. He's incredible. And you know what? The three of us would lose that argument. I think 100 times. I actually think
in his time, John Bonham was one of the best in his time.
But
when Neil Peart came out, he kind of took it to a whole new level.
I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you.
Neil Peart. Okay, and I mean the genres are different, yes. But the mode of music is different. I don't know if that makes sense, but in Bonham's music, it's organic and all that wonderful stuff. But then you bring Peart in. Peart is completely organic in the learning, in the practicing, and then the other way around. He's completely organic in the playing. But when it comes to the actual learning and the practicing and the getting it down, he is a technician. He's a mathematician.
Very cerebral.
Right? Mathematician.
Cerebral.
Right? Yep. And sometimes he'd even play on stage with click tracks, right? Which most drummers won't do. But that's because he trusted his compadres. I mean, these guys, especially Geddy Lee. Geddy Lee is a stunning musician, right? I think he was only eclipsed because of Neil Peart, right?
Yeah.
But
to play bass like Geddy Lee plays bass.
Come on and sing.
And to sing.
One of the hardest things to do.
Come on.
And play keyboards.
And playing bass keyboard with his feet using the pedals.
And bass and singing is very difficult, right?
Very difficult.
But Neil Peart, here he is, this philosopher drummer guy, right? And writes all the lyrics, hands it over to Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson, and they write the music to it, and he brings the drum tracks. It was I don't know what that. That's like sell your soul to the devil type music, man. It's brilliant. These guys brought their talent to bear on every single note in their repertoire.
How many bands could do like they do and write a song like Fly By Night, which is almost 20 minutes in length, and you'll sit there and listen to the whole thing because you want to hear every note.
And Bill, on top of all of that, they'll play it live, and they'll play every goddamn note.
They play these songs on the albums. They play them just as great live. Where you'll have a lot of bands who tweak their songs right for a live performance because they just can't master the album completely on stage. So they tweak
because they're not the producers.
But Rush could do that. Come on, man.
Rush could play it note by note, and
and some of the most complicated music on the planet. Yeah. So you put that together, and I mean, Neil Peart was a huge loss for music. I mean, I was hoping for another album, right? But
yeah, no, for sure. Well, guys, we are actually overtime.
Oh, look at that!
That is episode 105.
Get us talking about music, and look what
brand new year, 2022.
So exciting, right? Once you start talking about music, your blood starts to pump.
I could talk for hours.
I know, and then
hours.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah,
I know. It's just crazy.
Awesome. That is awesome. All right, well, Cliff, I'll let you do your spiel.
All right, you guys, this has been a whole pack of fun. And thank you for joining us on Must Listen Monday. We had a nice, lively crew here tonight. We missed a whole bunch of the comments, of course, because we're too busy yapping and nattling on. And we'll go back and listen. So if you're listening to this later, try and listen to it on Facebook and watch it and go through the comments live along with the show because they're fun and interesting to read. Thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. Welcome to 2022 and Must Listen Mondays. We have about 52 of them ahead, I guess, and 51. And we're looking forward to having you guys with us for all these episodes. And hopefully come summer, we'll do some live stuff and all that type of jazz. But if you are listening live, well, that's fantastic. If you're listening later, Mr. Bill,
anywhere you get your podcasts. So Spotify, iHeartRadio, Sound Sugar Radio on Friday nights at 10 p.m. You can listen to the audio broadcast again. And just tune in that way. And everybody, Happy New Year. Looking forward to 2022. We're going to have lots of fun. It's going to be exciting. And keep on with us and keep bringing friends. Keep bringing friends to MLMs.
Happy New Year, everybody. And look at my hole.
Oh. Thanks. On that note, we'll end it. Thanks there, Paul. All right, everybody.
The last word I want to say for the first episode of 2022 is whole.
Stay happy.